to Pickett. That ball caught by the former Toledo Rocket, Deontay Johnson. He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Now a give, running left is Harris. And this time they were ready for him as they'll stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
On 2nd and 11 now. Pickett. And a quick throw here. That's complete. And the tackle going to be made at the 38. If they want a first, they need to get the football to the 32 here on 3rd down. And, Charles, you look at this defense. They were a very loose group coming into the week, knowing they kind of had the upper hand going into this one, taking on a team that hasn't won in a month and a half.
And that works well for you if you establish your dominance early in the game against a team that's struggling. But if somehow they fashion some plays together early, knock them back on their heels, that looseness can be used against them. Then they're trying to scramble to make sure they get their game.
And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked up by Andre Sisco. And the Jags are going to get the ball back on the turnover as they hold on 4th down.
I certainly think that we're seeing a big reason why this team has struggled to put points on the board so far, because too many of their drives have ended in turnovers already, and we still have almost a full half of football yet to play.
Here comes the Jags offense now. Time for their first possession of half number 2. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Lawrence. He'll rifle this one deep right side. He's got a man. Complete. Touchdown, Jaguars. I don't think you can get any more efficient or tidy, whatever word you want to use than that, man. One play, 75 yards in zone.
Yeah, efficient, tidy, excellent words. How about explosive? 75 yards, one play. That means everyone handled their assignment, doesn't it? Doesn't just mean that the defense broke down. They really executed the way that was drawn up on the whiteboard. Big-time play, big-time result.
Prater for the extra point, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. One of the shortest drives you'll ever see. One play, 75 yards, 6 points. And after the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And this will not be returned. It'll come out to the 25. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. As this offense takes the field against CD, remember last drive they were moving the football, but then they threw that costly interception, so we'll see if they can right the ship here on this drive.
And doesn't that just sum up football? We see it all the time, don't we? The defense goes from losing the battle to making a huge play and stealing the momentum. So you know they're riding high right now, and they're ready to challenge this offense and that quarterback one more time.
And we'll see if the offense is up for that challenge here as things start to get more interesting here in the 2nd half. This defense just continues to bottle up that ground game. And look, I mean, the deficit right now for this offense is so big that it might not matter. But you're still in the 3rd quarter. They're probably going to have to try things through the air, Charles.
I agree with you totally. That's what they'll have to do. They do need to run it occasionally to take a few hits off the quarterback, because right now, you just know those pass rushers are fired up to get after him.
Pickett. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he will have the Steelers first down as they're able to get the 3rd down conversion. To the air on 1st down with Pickett. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone. A 2nd and 10 forthcoming here. 3rd quarter action in the Steel City of Pittsburgh, PA. And my goodness, another interception. Shaquille Griffin with a pick. And the Jaguars are going to take over at their own 41. So the ball changing hands on the interception. But meanwhile here, we do have an injury on the play. The medical staff is going to come out here and take a look, and we will take a short break. Lawrence bringing the Jaguars up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. Now Lawrence. Oh, he was hit as he threw it there, and that one winds up incomplete. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple of weeks.
Oh, that's a perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
He's going to rifle one deep left side, and that is caught at the 10-yard line. It's a big play for the Jaguars. 55 yards. But sometimes you just got to marvel at how these guys can throw the football. He gave that everything he had, and it was right on the money.
And he made that look effortless, didn't he? I mean, he's had a great game throwing the football. This is going to add to his yardage total in a big way. It's one thing to be accurate on your short and intermediate throws, but when you're hitting the bombs like those, look out.
And that one, and even 60 yards in the air. Wow. Great. Straight ahead, Etienne. And he'll go backwards, losing yardage to the 5. That's going to go as a loss of 1 on 1st down. Back at the 5-yard line now, 2nd and goal. One more time with Etienne. And he'll take this into the end zone. A touchdown, Jacksonville. Travis Etienne, his 7th rushing touchdown on the year. And the Jaguars will add on to their lead here in the final minute of the 3rd. A familiar refrain, a turnover leads to a touchdown, and that lead grows even wider now here in this 3rd quarter.
Yeah, partner, I'd say there are a lot of grins breaking out on that sideline because, let's face it, they came in thinking they were in for a real fight in this game, but this one's been about as one-sided as we've seen in a while. In addition, if you're a backup, time to start stretching and loosening up. You may get some playing time in this one.
Extra point good by Prater, and the lead grows even larger here in the 3rd quarter. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. And Pittsburgh getting set to take the field. Well, we're still in the 3rd quarter, so there's some time to kind of clean this up and make it look more respectable now. Or win, that's probably... And now here is another interception. Picked off by Tyson Campbell. And the Jags are going to take possession of the football. Boy, so another interception, CD. It feels like he's starting to unravel a little bit.
And as you would expect, still a work in progress here in his 2nd season. He has to start ironing out some of these mistakes, though, because now his head coach, his offensive coaches, they have to evaluate whether you keep playing him and let him work through it, or you start thinking about going to his backup.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Here's Lawrence. Finds his tight end Ingram. And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds. That one good for a gain of 13 for Jacksonville and a 1st down.
This offensive game plan has just been sensational. I mean, when you think about all the different ways they've gotten their receivers open so far, it's really been impressive. Scheme, design, execution.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence. Got his man, it's caught. Touchdown, Jaguars. From 19 yards away. And the Jaguars are able to extend their lead in the final seconds of this 3rd quarter. Boy, another score. This lead gets even bigger. And, Charles, we haven't even hit the 4th quarter yet.
Well, forget the deficit, right? They're really not going to cut into that a heck of a lot. But how can they get out of here with some dignity? Can they get a stop or two? Can they make a play on offense themselves? Anything to start to feel better about what's happened to them here in this one.
Now Prater to add the PAT. And This will be good. Off the right upright, but he got a favorable bounce, and he gets it to go. And they will not have time to get another play in here as time has run out on this third quarter. We'll return with more after this. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. Fielded right around the 8. And up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. And now out come the Steelers. It's now appearing that this losing streak is going to continue. You know, the coaching staff was confident that this was going to be the game to stem the tide, but that just has not been the case. Now a throw here to his running back.
All defenses worry that whenever anyone catches the ball and has a head of steam come out of the backfield, it can turn into a big play with missed tackles or he runs through people. But they were right there waiting, and they stopped him for a minimal gain.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. He'll be stopped at the 35, but not before he picks up 7 yards. The offense on third down, 2 for 5 to this point. They're up against a 3rd and 1 situation. And he's going to be taken down. Plus, there's a penalty flag in the backfield. They may get 15 more on top of this. Well, that frustration, Charles, it's been building on the defensive side of the ball. And unfortunately there, it turns into a roughing the passer penalty.
Yeah, and they should be frustrated because he's picked them apart the entire game, but it's got to come out in a different way. He can't hit him illegally. Stop him downfield.
Now a loose football. The ball comes out, and the Jags grab it. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27.
And with that kind of a deficit, you can't afford to make any kind of mistakes. But it's been pretty symptomatic of what we've seen all game with them, isn't it? Down this big in the fourth quarter.
You'd say an afternoon to forget, absolutely. And out now comes Jacksonville as they get ready to go. And, Charles, we are in the midst of a very one-sided affair. I think this is where you and I have to fill a little bit. You want to regale us with old stories of your childhood in New Paltz, New York?
I don't think anyone wants to hear that, but this is a perfect time for us to start listing MVP candidates, right? Best teams we've seen so far this year, the best games that we've called thus far, how we anticipate the season unfolding. We can go in so many different directions because the game certainly not taking us there.
He's got a man complete, and he's going to be brought down at about the 16. Excellent execution, and now they're set up nicely.
Are they ever? Red zone? I wonder what the next play call is going to be, because after a big play like that, a lot of teams like to use the momentum to launch another one.
Historically, this is such a tough, loud venue, but you can hear a pin drop right now. A lot of fans long gone, not used to seeing a lopsided score like this. And they're going to get this down inside the 15.
Time to give a little credit there to the defense. They played that very well because it was a drag route, and he ran a little shallower than normal as he worked straight across the field. He was hoping he'd get lost behind the defensive line, but once he made the catch, nowhere to turn upfield and gain any yardage.
A quick throw outside, that's complete. Touchdown! A 14-yard touchdown. And the Jags add on to their lead, and it's looking like that win streak is going to extend another week. When coaches come into a game preaching total team effort, CD, I think this is the type of ball game that they're dreaming of. It was pretty apparent early on that they were clicking in all 3 phases. It's been fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes in the NFL you end up with matchups like we've been watching here. And when you go back to the early drives, you can just see that one squad was on a different level in this game. Safe to say, we haven't been disappointed in watching their execution throughout this contest.
Takes it at the 7. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get this up to the 29. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. They were coming off the extra week of rest, but this team started sluggish, and it really didn't get any better from there, and trailing big here in this fourth quarter. Completes this one to Pickens. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. Pickett to throw on 1st down. To the sideline. Wow, what a catch. Doesn't get a lot out of it, but he is able to keep the feet in bounds. To throw again on 2nd down. Pickett. That swung out wide to Harris. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run. Pickett, he's going to throw it again. Nothing open downfield, so he'll throw it away.
They lead big, and a major part of that has been how they've taken their play to a whole new level this second half. No points allowed since the break, and you can add another incompletion to the total number that they forced in this runaway contest.
They'll get him to the ground at the 20 following a pickup of 4. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. And the Jags with 5 in the secondary now on 3rd down. Looking to throw, Pickett. Looking end zone, but it's incomplete.
And that's another play that's painted the picture of this game overall. It's been a blowout. It's been continually fueled by big turnovers and stops for one side and an inability to advance the ball from the other.
Blankenship's kick is good. And they'll get back 3, but this remains a large deficit. In the grand scheme of things, those 3 points likely not going to matter much, but I guess they get a little closer, a little more respectability.
Yeah, you're exactly right. They've been outplayed all game long, but like my mom used to tell me all the time before I went out, dress up a little bit, son. Make yourself respectable. And that's what they're doing here. They're just dressing up the final score.
Out comes the Jacksonville offense as they get set to take over here. Well, they don't really need the points here, Charles, given what we're looking at on the scoreboard, but they've scored on 3 consecutive possessions, 3 consecutive drives, and I'm sure that they would like to keep that streak going here and continuing to pour it on.
And things have gotten that way in the NFL, haven't they, partner? Because in the old days, people would have, they'd get off the gas a little bit, right? But now, people continue to accelerate. But we'll see what they decide to do as they come out for this one. But the way that this game has gone, they've got to be awfully happy with their execution overall.
Now this one complete on the slant route. 9 yards, and that leaves him just short, so it'll be 3rd and less than a yard. With that last completion, CDs now over 400 yards passing in the game, and quite a few of those have come via some pretty big strikes downfield. Certainly not afraid to challenge the secondary, and it's been successful.
I like your observation there, partner, because I agree. This is a group more than capable of torching a secondary any week, as evidenced by their combined stat line here. And in the time we have remaining, it wouldn't shock me at all to see them take another deep shot.
They have been unstoppable this afternoon, Charles. They just went after them from the start, and pass plays like we just saw, they're continuing their dominance here despite the big lead in the fourth quarter. And that they have in every way, and plays like that across all phases of the game, they've just been effortless for them in this one. And that's what's helped them build such a large lead and allowed them to smile as this game continues. Looking for more there on 1st down, but this throw downfield incomplete. Up huge on the scoreboard, and they're still trying to add to their total. That shot doesn't connect, but I don't think it'll dissuade them from attempting another one. He's going to try and go deep again. Got a man, it's caught at the 6-yard line. And they are going to score again. Yet another touchdown as they just add to their totals. Well, business as usual for them. Well on their way to another victory. Riding a serious wave of momentum from what we've seen. And so far, they haven't met their match. So if you're going to play this team in the future, your mission is clear. You better be ready to play and match their firepower.
Oh, yeah. I'm a one-play maker.
Prater on to add the extra point. This one was over a while ago as they just add on to their big lead. 5 plays there on that drive, and it culminates in a Jags touchdown. After the touchdown, out is Prater to kick. Takes it at the 7. And they will wrangle him down a couple yards shy of the 30. The Steelers offense now, they head back onto the field. Facing a big fourth quarter deficit here, things not looking good. You know, this offense, though, they've been in the top half of the NFL so far this season, but in this one, well, their defense has really struggled.
The whole team has struggled.
1st and 10, here's Pickett. That's going to be caught by Pickens. And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a first down. Pickett now on first down. Setting up the screen, Harris.
Sit down.
They'll get 4 there out of the screen, and it's 2nd down. And as this defense walks off the field, they can do so with their heads held high. What a performance. Well, by the offense, too. I mean, really, Charles, just complete domination on both sides of the football here in this one.
Certainly was, and I think both sides compete against each other all the time. You go at each other in practice, obviously your training camps, your off-season. But on game day, you both want to show your best. And I think that's what we saw from both the offense and the defense, a complete team victory.
So for the Jags, the streak lives as they move to 13-0 now on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Baltimore Ravens. Meanwhile, for Pittsburgh, it's unfortunately more of the same as they'll fall to 3-10 on the year. And they'll try to turn things around next week as they have a matchup in Cincinnati against the Bengals.